administration is recommending avoid discretionary travel and avoid eating and drinking in bars, restaurants, and public food courts.
Isolation Sushi. Then let's begin with the only rice he has. Long grain rice. Not the required sushi rice. But in times of isolation, what can he do? He measures 3 exact cups of rice, no more, no less, and takes the rice to the sink. Using the finest limestone-laced water Florida has to offer, he washes the rice and drains it as many times as necessary until the water is clear, or until he's washed it 9 times and will accept semi-opaque. He drains it as best he can and migrates back to his workspace. There, he adds 1 cup of water for each cup of rice, and an extra half cup to make sure it's sticky. He covers it and, using his neighbor's 1980s rice cooker, he places the container in, sets the cooker to the side, and sets it to the setting labeled Cook. Then he brings in a container, and, using rice wine vinegar, he adds a 1/4 cup for each cup of rice, a teaspoon and a bit more of kosher salt, and a teaspoon of the white devil, sugar. Using the varied teaspoon, he stirs until the teaspoon dissolves in the vinegar. Then he sets it aside. When the rice signals that it is complete, a rice fairy gets her wings. He removes it and pours it into the only large tray that he has. Except it doesn't pour. So he uses a spatula and coerces it out with the strength of a weak human. To it, he adds some of the rice wine vinegar mixture, stirs it in, adds some more rice wine vinegar, stirs some more, and finishes the vinegar mixture and finishes mixing, making a somewhat flat top. An obligatory taste test, and it appears to be satisfactory. He covers it and sets it aside. Boop. Now begins the best can be described as a breakfast roll. The one staple of breakfast is eggs. Since he has no seaweed peeper, otherwise known as nori, he cracks 3 eggs into a bowl, removes the optional shell seasoning, and scrambles. As required by law, he adds some kosher salt, and continues scrambling until the time arrives for the stovetop. Over medium heat, he adds oil to the pan of steel, and once hot enough, pours half the scrambled chick embryos. This makes a large, thin omelette that inevitably cracks when flipped. Once back at the cutting board, he retrieves the long green fruit that garnishes water across every spa in America. And, using a very sharp knife, he removes the skin by moving in a circular fashion, surprising himself that no blood was shed. After the interruption, he performs the same process to the rest of the meat of the pre-pickle. Again, astounded, he maintains all 6 fingers. He stacks the cucumber sheets and juliennes them into spaghetti. Not to be confused with zucchini noodles, he places them onto a plate to be cool, like a cucumber. And then cleans, because ants. He then moves on to the Vienna sausages. As he removes them from the can, he slices them vertically, to reveal the mechanically separated chicken. Yes, this delicacy from Vienna is bound to have a beak or two. Once sliced, he lines his cutting board with a sheet of cling wrap, while maintaining awareness of its choking hazards. Then he grabs one of the broken omelettes and ever so gently places it onto the cling wrap as he reaches for the vinegar-infused rice. He removes the warm, damp cloth, grabs a handful of sticky rice, and gently smashes it into his gloveless hands. He places it on the omelette, yet an overwhelming majority remains stuck to his hands. To remedy, he wets his hand, claps twice to ward off evil spirits, and continues laying the rice foundation on the omelette. He adds a few noodles of cucumber because, why not? This is followed up by a few slices of Vienna's finest sausages, and once aligned on the rice, he begins to wrap the omelette using the cling wrap like a burrito. However, he has made a crucial mistake. By rolling omelette over omelette, it prevents it from sticking. Eventually, he needs his IKEA-purchased dinner mat. He places it over to his roll and squeezes to conform it. Then mistakenly begins to cut at the end of the roll. Soon enough, he realized he should start in the middle to ensure even-sized bites across the roll. As he removes the cling wrap, it is a disaster. You can witness the first mistake of egg on end crime, preventing the roll from sticking. These go into the trash plate along with the piece of cling wrap that he finds. Boop. The Philadelphia Roll is the roll for people who dislike sushi and fish, but enjoy salmon, cream cheese, and cucumbers. So, canned salmon it is. He lays out his rice without an omelette straight onto the cling wrap. Adds some cucumbers, the salmon mayo concoction, and Philadelphia's finest, which is probably where this roll got its name. Then begins to roll his masterpiece. Nope, just kidding. At the last moment he panics that there is not enough rice, so he adds more, extending the base and begins to roll again. This time he is successful with a nice firm log. Once compressed, he unwraps the cling wrap and adds sesame seeds over top, which, in hindsight, he should have toasted. He rewraps, and again, using his mat, recompresses the Philly roll. After slicing the great white log, it's not that hideous. So, he plates it. And if you're wondering about the remaining omelette, he makes that roll as well, using the lessons he learned from the first two, since, after all, he has never made sushi before in his life, and these are quite edible. So if you're stuck in isolation and believe that food should be delicious, especially if it's low carb, make sure to subscribe and watch what the best low carb recipes actually are. And until next time, eat well and stay safe. For humanity.